Hey everyone, welcome to What Was That? I'm Gabe Sanchez. If you've been following any of Donald Trump's indictments, you've probably seen his lawyers make some insane arguments. And his newest lawyer, John Lauro, well, he might be the dumbest one so far. It starts with his morning show interviews and continues through his lackluster performance in the protective order hearing.
Not speech, actions that the former president
like
allegedly
what?
took.
Like what?
I mean, where do I even
like
start?
What? Tell me.
Asking
what
the Arizona speaker to interfere with ascertaining Arizona's electors. The Justice Department to
conduct a speech.
But
any
alleged
is speech.
But any alleged almost all alleged criminal activity has to do with using words and a speech. And that's listen.
What you don't
this is obviously the defense that you're going to use, and it will be fascinating to see how it works out in a court of law.
Unless you're a basketball fan, you've probably never heard of John Lauro before he became Trump's new lawyer. Back in 2007, John Lauro represented Tim Donaghy, the disgraced NBA referee who was sentenced to 15 months in prison for betting on games he officiated and taking payoffs from bookies. Lauro previously said, "My goal when I represent businessmen is to get them in and out as quickly as possible, without any publicity at all." Look, I don't know what changed his goals, but Donald Trump is neither a businessman nor is this case happening without any publicity at all. I think it's safe to say that defending Trump's attempts to overturn his defeat in the 2020 election is
a whole different ballgame.
And it definitely doesn't help when Lauro goes on TV and admits to Trump's crimes over and over again. But somehow, John Lauro has proven to be dumber than Alina Habba, Jim Trusty, Christina Bobb, and every other Trump lawyer combined. Lauro, like every other Trump lawyer, is too incompetent to stop Trump from posting things online. After being arraigned, Trump ran to Truth Social to send off a flurry of posts that suggested that he might intimidate witnesses by improperly disclosing confidential evidence received from the government. One of those posts read, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." So in response, the DOJ requested that Judge Tanya Chutkan issue a protective order to prohibit Trump and his lawyers from sharing any discovery materials with unauthorized people, which makes total sense considering Trump's aggressive history of revealing details about cases on social media. So after Judge Chutkan gave Lauro a Monday deadline, he asked for more time to prepare their response, to which Judge Chutkan quickly responded with,
"Request denied."
Though if I had to guess, it probably didn't help that Trump's team sent out a press release promoting Lauro doing a full Ginsburg by appearing on all 5 major Sunday shows. That would be like if I asked my professor for an extension on a project and then just posted videos of myself partying online. And the funniest part about this idiotic media blitz is that special counsel Jack Smith cited Lauro's interviews against him in his response to Judge Chutkan. So when Lauro went on these shows, not only did each vary in their intensity, but each included a plethora of head-scratching claims and other attention-grabbing statements on behalf of Trump. The arguments that Lauro gave during these interviews are a sneak peek into Trump's very weak and also very bizarre legal defense. Look, I only picked a handful to highlight, but there is an endless amount to pull from. His interview with Dana Bash on CNN got off to an intense start when Lauro claimed that President Biden's administration was orchestrating special counsel Jack Smith's investigation.
This isn't by the Biden administration. This is by the
President
special
Trump.
independent counsel.
No, here for this reason, no. The independent counsel, it's not independent, it's special counsel, has to get the approval of Merrick Garland in order to go forward. Joe Biden said in November 2022 that he wanted to see President Trump prosecuted and taken out of this race.
There's
so it
no,
is the Biden
I'm just going to stop you because there's no evidence
but the
that
bottom line is,
Joe Biden is involved in this.
Then Lauro defended Trump's actions while portraying Trump as a victim of political persecution, and that there was actually a peaceful transfer of power.
One of the last and the ultimate requests that President Trump made was to pause the voting for 10 days to allow the states to recertify or certify or audit, and Mr. Pence rejected that as well. After that, there was a peaceful transition of power. So that's how the constitutional works.
Okay. What happened on January 6th was not peaceful.
Dude, what are you talking about? Trump supporters were literally breaking windows and chanting this. I feel like I sound like a broken record here, but Trump supporters literally built gallows to hang Mike Pence, so I highly doubt he's going to be Trump's saving grace. And yes, while Pence is still a coward who originally tried to weasel his way out of testifying against Trump, it seems like he finally grew a pair at the ripe age of 64 years old. Though the grand jury's still out on whether it was Jack Smith or Mike Pence's controlling wife mother that compelled him to cooperate.
Because I would see him with his wife having something around his neck every night and walking around. She doesn't let him go to She lets him go to the bathroom by himself. That's about it.
Is it just me, or does the Republican Party feel like a bad habit that America needs to kick? Which actually reminds me. Let's talk about those annoying quirks that we call bad habits. You know, the ones that make your grandma raise an eyebrow and cause your dog to give you that judgy side eye. That's right, we all got them. Some of us bite our fingernails, other people chew on pens, and, well, if you're like me, you constantly crack your knuckles. It's a habit I've been trying to break since I was a kid, and nothing has worked. And that was the case until I got myself a Fume. So if you've got a bad habit that you're also trying to kick, Fume can help. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Instead of electronics and tangled wires, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses cores with delicious, all-natural flavors. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, so your fingers always have something to do. And honestly, I didn't expect much out of Fume when I got it, but its super sleek design and all-natural flavors have been a breath of fresh air when it comes to breaking my bad habits. Really, the easiest way to break a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, including myself, and there is no reason that can't be you. So what are you waiting for? Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com and use code GABE to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code GABE to save an additional 10% off your order today. So then on Meet the Press, Lauro tried to argue that there was a difference between a technical violation of the Constitution and a violation of criminal law.
And one thing that Mr. Pence has never said is that he thought President Trump was acting criminally. Indeed, Vice President Pence is an attorney. If he at any point said or thought that President Trump was acting unlawfully or contrary to criminal law, he would have said that. No one ever suggested that. President Trump was exercising his right.
Said that.
And by the way, there's another.
He said the president asked him to violate the Constitution. He said the president asked him to violate the Constitution, which is another way of saying he asked him to break the law.
Lauro is trying to argue that a technical violation of the Constitution isn't really a violation per se. So I guess it's like saying, technically I burned down your house, but it's not really a crime because I did it with a smile on my face. Anyway, one of Lauro's recurring arguments was that Trump was exercising his First Amendment rights with his aspirational speech, where Trump asked Pence and others to help him overturn the election.
The ballots are corrupt, and you're going to find that they are, which is totally illegal. It's more illegal for you than it is for them, because you know what they did and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense. All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
If he had proof he won the state, why did he threaten the Secretary of State with a criminal with a criminal charge?
That wasn't a threat at all. What he was asking for is for Raffensperger to get to the truth. He believed that there were in excess of 10,000 votes that were counted illegally. And what he was asking for is the Secretary of State to act appropriately and find these votes that were counted illegally. That was an hold on one second. That was an aspirational ask.
I gotta say, I am constantly amazed by the mental gymnastics of Trump's lawyers. And probably the dumbest argument of all was on CBS's Face the Nation, when Lauro said that he wanted to move the trial out of the Capitol in order to get a diverse venue and diverse jury.
Are you still going to pursue a change of venue?
Absolutely. We would like a diverse venue, a diverse jury.
Do you have any expectation that will be granted?
That reflects the characteristics of the American people. It's up to the judge. I think West Virginia would be an excellent venue to try this case.
Oh, give me a break. West Virginia is about as diverse as the boat of racist white guys at the Alabama riverfront dock. But let's pull up the recent census data to see just how diverse West Virginia really is. Ah, there it is, 92.8%. Like I said in the beginning, John Lauro might be the dumbest lawyer yet, especially when you see how incapable and unwilling he is to handle a simple request from Judge Chutkan. All she did was order a hearing to discuss the DOJ's protective order no later than August 11th, and just asked for everyone's availability. And without any hesitation, the DOJ said they were available August 9th, 10th, and 11th, But Trump's lawyers, on the other hand, tried to weasel their way out without any legitimate excuse. I mean, they even tried to say, oh, you know what, Friday's not an option. Come on, at least try to come up with something. Your dog ate your brief, your family member's having surgery. I mean, you could even pull something from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid is going with the girl who saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. I guess it's pretty serious.
And unsurprisingly, Judge Chutkan smacked down their BS response and assigned the hearing to Friday, August 11th. And look, I'm not saying that this is at all related, but it probably didn't help that right before this decision was issued, Trump went on Truth Social to accuse Judge Chutkan of having ties to a law firm that previously worked with Burisma. You know, the fake Hunter Biden scandal that Republicans can never show proof of. So during the protective order hearing, it went back and forth with Lauro mostly complaining that he didn't want to have to babysit Trump while he reviewed documents, but as we all know, Trump has a tendency to hold on to material that he shouldn't. Like I said in the beginning, Lauro is in way over his head, especially since the first batch of discovery is roughly 11.6 million pages of files, which according to the DOJ are load ready. And the hearing ended with a mic drop from Judge Chutkan issuing a limited protective order and putting Trump in a very difficult spot. In addition, the more the party makes inflammatory statements about this case which could taint the jury pool, the greater the urgency will be that we proceed to trial quickly. I will take whatever measures are necessary to safeguard the integrity of these proceedings. Translation, if you continue to act like a narcissistic moron making threatening statements about this case, we'll go to trial as soon as possible. Damn! And while Republicans like Ted Cruz try to argue that Judge Chutkan is unqualified, I just want to remind everyone that despite her liberal background, she was unanimously confirmed by a vote of 95-0 in the Senate. And yeah, that would include Ted Cruz. And not only that, but Judge Chutkan is way more qualified than Eileen Cannon, Trump's incompetent judge on his classified documents case. Eileen Cannon has had more fumbles than Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign.
Not here.
I mean, she's just openly trying to help Trump's case any chance that she can, like issuing an order directing the government about why it was using a non-Florida grand jury. Well, it turns out she's taking cues from Trump's former lawyer, Jim Trusty, as in the lawyer who quit both Trump's documents case and Trump's CNN defamation case.
There's a lot of shenanigans in terms of grand jury usage. You know, you don't do a grand jury investigation for a year only to move it to another district unless there's more to the story. There'll be litigation, I assume, that relates to these issues of how the grand jury was used or abused. But it's certainly, again, new territory when DOJ shifts an investigation at the last minute to an entirely different venue.
Andrew, let me just first start, because you're the person that put together this appearance on Fox News where Jim Trusty says D.C. grand jury, Florida grand jury, these two things can't mix. And then Judge Cannon mysteriously coming out with the sort of mirror of that argument in one of her rulings. What's going on here?
So first, regardless of how she got there, the fact of what she did is, to say the least, unusual. She did it, as you noted, on her own, and it showed a fundamental misunderstanding of basic 101 criminal law as to how grand juries work, which is they can continue investigating ongoing crime of either an existing defendant or other defendants and other crimes that may be committed. So this is a classic case. It is also the case that you can bring a grand jury investigation in any district where the crime may have occurred. Remember, when you start an investigation, you don't even know if a crime has occurred or who did it or where it occurred. So you're allowed to go to many different districts where it could be the case, as long as you have a good faith basis. So this was such a fundamental misunderstanding. And what I was thinking about is, where in God's green earth is she getting this idea? Because it's so off the charts from everything in the record. Why is she doing this? It's not like the litigants raised the issue. She's doing it on her own, and it's so wrong. And then there you have Jim Trusty, the former president's former counsel, raising this issue the night before, and that morning she issues this. So it's a real issue in terms of people who think that Judge Cannon may have learned her lesson, and this might be Cannon 2.0. She's really changed since the 11th Circuit struck her down twice. This suggests...
Not so.
Not so. This is still canon 1.0.
Watching Trump's rotating cast of inept lawyers go on TV to defend him as well as admit to his crimes is like witnessing a clown car trying to parallel park. It's chaotic, entertaining, and ultimately, it's destined for disaster. Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to connect with me at I am Gabe Sanchez. But before I go, I just want to remind everyone that you can support this show by signing up for my Patreon. As a member, you'll get access to episodes before they go public, a live weekend show, Q&As, and discounted merch. To subscribe, go to patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?